I might lose a bit of hair on the way. Yeah, like my heart stays the same, and like I've always said, for as long as I've been doing this, when I don't love this anymore, I don't want it anymore.
Welcome to Fika's Focus. Voices leading change.
Well, here we are, 1 year on. Wow, man, awesome to hear about what's going on. Last time we were talking about the kids program. Talk to us. Let's start with that, brother. Far out.
Yeah, 1 year on, brother. Man, time flies, eh? Yeah, the kids program, man. I remember a year, we were just talking about it earlier. We were in the same position in a different location, saying that next term we'll have 52, I think I said. Last term we had 95 kids in youth, so super blessed. We obviously have the space to facilitate the program, and yeah, man, the feelings haven't changed. I absolutely love it, and I believe there's a huge impact on each one of those kids in youth, and hence it'll just continue to grow. Yeah, bro.
Let's walk backwards. Youth boxing. I grew up in Tokoroa. George Ellis was a big guy down Toke who ran boxing for youth, a lot of youth. What are the real benefits? I know you know, but why is it such a powerful program for kids?
Man, I truly believe it's the confidence there, and then more so in this generation, just as it was in our generation and those before us. But we live in the social media era, and bullying doesn't stop at school, sadly, and it will always be a problem. But what boxing and other martial arts, but it just gives them confidence. They can stand on their own 2 feet with their chest out, know who they are, and be proud of who they are. So when kids first come in here, there's like, they're a bit shy, they're still hanging on to their parents a little bit, and but as the weeks go on, and the proof is in the pudding, they run in and we got a handshake, and they give me a handshake, and give each other a handshake, and then they come in and this is like their home, and they just feel safe, and they can be themselves, and through that, that's the sport of boxing. The values, to be respectful, to be disciplined, to have good manners. The boys know whenever we're handing stuff out, it's always girls first. Yep. So yeah, even though boxing's what we do, but it's not about that. It's just about creating better humans, especially young humans.
And for your own career, because when did you start? How old were you?
Man, I started boxing when I was 27.
Wow,
yeah, I started late.
But you would have seen kids around though in that space, and where I'm heading with this is you got to get good people in front of kids. Like one of the saddest things I've seen is the demise of teachers being coaches. When I started teaching, when I was at school, when you were at school, the coaches were teachers. So the sport and the passion for the sport, and also the consequences of not doing what you should be doing at school were very clear, because the teacher, you can't bullshit them.
Yeah.
But it's not happening as much today because teachers are just far busier. But it's about getting good humans in front of kids, as many as you can, as possible. And that's what programs like this. So how many, you're talking 90 odd kids, which is over 2 to 3 classes. You're having a lot of interactions. You get to know these kids quite deeply.
No, 100%. And I guess that's, when people are quite surprised how fast we've grown our programs and how amazing it is, which it is. I think the thing that they don't truly realize is, these programs are me. It's my love for these kids. I know every single one of their names. I know what they've been up to. I talk to them. I just care about them, because I was once that little kid that I wish I had boxing then. But so I guess it's my way to pay it forward, so then they can have the experiences that I later on had in life at 27. But if I was 8 years old and boxing came into my life, you know, I'd like to believe that things could have been even better than what they already are. So yeah.
But is that journey for these kids, confidence, and let's drill into that a wee bit, because you're right, bro. Social media, this era is way different. I'm grateful that I did not grow up with social media, and unfortunately, you're right too. The bullying doesn't just stop now. You know, when I grew up, if someone tried to ring you, you just took the phone off the hook. You know, like, no one could get in touch with you. That was it. And it does follow. But that confidence, what does that look like when you see, when it goes from a child who's clinging to their parent, almost probably not wanting to come in, to 6 weeks later? What does that journey look like for them as that starts to unwind? Not at the 6 week mark, not at the start, but what does it look like as you start going through? What are you looking for with those kids?
But I guess the big one is I just want them to know that I care.
Yeah.
And when they don't do well, that's all good. I got their back, and we can take as long as it takes for them to get it. They feel supported, and then through that, I guess they know that they're all the same. They're all just trying to learn. They're all here and to have fun, but also to learn something. And unbeknown to them, they're learning qualities, because as cool as these videos of the kids are, you know, like, I don't share all the moments where I'm hard on them, and they have like very distinct boundaries, where they know that, you know, in this house, which is our house, there's rules, and if you want to be here, you have to obey those rules. And yeah, once they cling onto that idea, which becomes our culture, and then yeah, they just man, I guess the way I see it is, they just become who they're supposed to be. They feel this is where they belong. They can be themselves here. They can fail, but it's all good, you know. And then they're all just the same. I treat them all the same. I've said it in our last podcast. They come, you know, with certain, you know, learning difficulties or whatever else. They come as they are, and I just treat them the same. And I think that's a big one, in my honest opinion. When you treat kids all the same and give them the love and respect that they all deserve and desire, you know, they can be themselves authentically and grow exponentially. And yeah, that's the beauty in these programs, bro. Like, once their confidence grows and they come out of their shell, you know, what I've heard from their parents, like how they've changed their home in a better way, and I only hope they're just a ripple effect for their own peers and siblings and whatnot. So yeah, bro, it's pretty cool.
And they carry that into everywhere they go. That's the thing. Once you learn it in one place, it is easy to carry it into another place. The confidence, and two things you said there that really stand out. The first one is failure. And that's what sports teaches us. That is the beauty of sport.
100%.
I've met no one who's just won everything and that is it.
Yep.
And whether it's individual or team sport, it's that ability to deal with someone who's earned a result that you desired to, whether it's a win in the ring or weights or on the field or whatever it is. But it gives us another chance to come back and go again. You know, that's an important skill that I feel like sport really has a unique way of teaching that. Because what is failure in the long run? When we relate it to sport, failure in the long run is not turning up and giving your best, potentially.
Yep.
It could be letting people down. It could be lying about things, results, or that I'm doing the work at home, you know. Coach has told me to do this, so go for this, right? Yeah, I did it, and not doing it. But it's all the stuff that goes on, like you said, behind closed doors, where your integrity is really being challenged. Yes, I am going to get up and go for the run. Yes, I am going to, you know, get all my boxing gear ready every night so that we just walk out the door, you know, all those sorts of things. And that's what this program, like other sports programs, is doing for kids.
Yeah.
So with the other part, we're talking about failure, but then you talked about Desire. You just said kids desire to be felt like they're cared for, they belong. Talk to us about that desire, belonging, care. Where is that?
Man, I think that stems from me. It's my own selfish needs and desires. You know, when I was a kid, because, you know, we were all once just young kids, and you know, we all have our own traumas, hardships, or whatever else. And I like to believe that, you know, as we get older and hopefully wiser, and put into positions where we can have some sort of impact, you know, we can give back to that kid that once was us. And that's the beauty of these programs, is I'm in a position where I can be of positive influence to these kids. So, because like I said earlier, you know, I wish I had that, you know, when I was younger. I talk heaps now. Once upon a time, I was almost a mute. I didn't know how to talk publicly in front of people. I got mad anxiety. You know, it was, I'd never done my English speech at school. I just wagged. Still passed English. I was pretty bright in school, but public speaking and even just talking it was really hard for me. So yeah, like where now, the importance of like being confident, having a voice, and being proud to be who you are, and know that that's more than enough.
Yeah.
So I guess, you know, trying to show kids, be an example that you know, I once too was quiet and shy, and you know, I wasn't always like this, and I hope and I know that in time it'll just get even bigger and better for myself, so I can I guess in a way lead through example, because I think just from my own experiences, it's so much easier to follow someone that's doing it, that's doing the work. It's a lot harder, and I remember going to Otahu College. We'd have speakers come in and try to motivate and inspire us, and a lot of times it just didn't stick, because it was worlds apart. Like their story wasn't our story, and we couldn't relate. So yeah, I guess that's the big one, is like when you're honest. You know, we talked about integrity just earlier. Like if you hold your values and everything good and bad that you've been through at the forefront, and just there's no transparency. You're just and then people can just take that for what it is, and also do the same in their own lives. That's I guess.
You can make the choice. You're right, because I agree. It is far easier when you know or see someone doing what you desire to do. It's the willingness to also put yourself in the position to learn, because often people won't say something. They're like, "Oh man, I love what you do. You know, hey, could you tell me how you got there?" That in itself is an important skill, to be able to say, "Hey, I'm where you probably were 10 years ago. Could you help?" Because most people I've met, they're pretty good at it. Most of them will say, yeah, what do you want to know? And that's, if we don't ask, we don't get. It's such a valuable skill that we talk to about children being able to communicate clearly, confidently, with mana, proud, you know, not just like mumbling, but actually being very clear, so that they can actually ask for what their heart desires. Because you'll have it. Some kids will have no desire to fight actually, but some will. And then there might be some in the middle who are like, I don't know how to ask, or am I good enough, or all those things. And if you can create a culture where asking and people feeling safe and heard, man, you've already done most of the work for them. Business. We're in a new venue, you know, nice bigger venue, and it's what, a big year since we last caught up, and so obviously you've tried to accommodate your growth in that sense. But what has the growth felt like for you guys 1 year on?
Man, yeah, business, like I said to you, I had no business courses. I've never had prior business experience. And yeah, like I went to Samoa at the end of last year. Grateful that I had the opportunity to go back and see my mum and dad. And I guess reset, refresh and then go again. But in that, like a lot of, thinking about where I am and what needs to be done moving forward. And yeah, it just really come to me that frick, we need a bigger space. We need to grow now. It's like I guess the entrepreneurial mindset that I didn't know I had. Things were getting too easy. There was no
too much comfort.
Yeah, it was getting comfortable. I could do everything like the back of my hand, like all the numbers, the bills, all that. Like it was being met. Like there wasn't anything that was really scaring me in terms of like, frick, how are we gonna sort that out? So, and obviously a big one being that there was like over 40 kids on the waiting list that that we just couldn't give them the opportunity, and that was the real tipping point for me. It's like, man, these kids deserve it, and so it's my responsibility to go do what I can do, or as much as I can do, to give them the space and the program. So yeah, broke out of our lease, which landlords wouldn't be too happy about. But again, everything that was asked of, I just did it. And despite all the frustrations and everything else, the business side, the leasing, landlords, all of that stuff, we got it done, and I'll do it all over again. Like as much as it was quite frustrating, but I'll do it all over again to have exactly what we have now. So yeah, and then we've grown not just our kids and youth programs, but we've got way more members. And it's, again, like I said earlier, like it's my responsibility as the coach and the gym owner to give them what they deserve, So yeah, here's me just freaking trying for my community, because they're doing the most for me. So it's a two-way street in my eyes, and I guess going back, that's my integrity. I will never change. I'll be the same. Things might grow and get bigger, and I might lose a bit of hair on the way. But like my heart stays the same, and like I've always said, for as long as I've been doing this, when I don't love this anymore, I don't want it anymore. Like all the money aside, we can build a crazy successful gym in terms of numbers, finances and all that, but if my desire, my heart's not in it, I don't want it. I believe in that, the inevitable is we're all gonna pass over, and I hope that I leave a legacy that I tried. Because man, if that's all I do in life is try, then that's freaking good enough for me.
You've talked to two really important points there again. First is the trying, which we'll get to, but also comfort. And there are business owners, when I've sat down with people and, that comfort that's the start of the end. We met this guy a couple of years ago, and I remember him saying to me, if you don't keep putting pressure on your business to perform, you are ready to be bought or shut down. And it was we spent 3 or 4 days with this guy, but that one thing just stuck out to me. And what is putting pressure on the business, what does that mean? Is it growth? Is it breaking, understanding breaking leases and then dealing with landlords and coming through this and potential lawyers and all of this? And is it understanding numbers or what that means, or how do we scale to 2 sites? Or it's just, that has stuck with me, that if you're feeling too comfortable, you're probably going backwards a bit. So comfort is a real interesting one, a real good concept that a lot of business owners probably could explore. Am I too comfortable? What dial can I crank a wee bit just to put a bit more pressure on maybe myself or our team or us, you know, and it's a fine line too. You know, you can crank too much, and that could be the last crank you do. And that is, bro, that is what's happening in the business world right now. People have cranked, it's caught up, and there are people closing doors, bro.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
it is tough out there right now. Financially, for people, they are struggling. In places like Byron, just give people a chance to come and hit something and mingle and hang and forget, because man, they've got to go back and start figuring, how do I uncrank? Can I uncrank? And if I can't, now what? It is a real interesting moment, because if you've understood that, and like me, I was not brought up around business, you know, but I know that entrepreneurial spirit certainly is in me. It's just trying to continue to crank the balance of crank enough to stimulate something, but not doing too little and not doing too much. It's a good point. When we talk also about, you were talking about reciprocal, you know, that kind of, I work hard for you, you work hard for me, I give, you give, all that sort of thing, that kind of rule of reciprocity. Why is that such a, I know why, but why is it such an important value for you, that if you feel it's got to be in a two-way thing?
It's just, you know, everything comes back to life experiences, right? And you know, my dad's my hero, and man, he did so much for me, and still does to this day. And so, like, I'm just trying to give back to, you know, like, what he's given to me is, he didn't have to, but he did it, like, without asking for anything in return. He just did it with a good heart. And so I guess, you know, like, just blessed that, you know, this great man raised me and gave me these values that are just so normal to me, because that's what truly fills my heart. You know, like, you know, love is a very small word, but it means a lot, right? And it's not just a word. I like to think, even with gratitude, like, those are just words until you show it. You know, until you show love, until you show gratitude, that's what it really is. Or else we're just saying words that are just that. So I always believe that, you know, I can't just tell you something. I can't tell you I love you or that I'm grateful for you. I have to show you. You know, one of my great friends, Monty said it to me, and it's something that stuck with me. Something his dad told him, and then he eventually told me was, also, don't show me, you know, don't tell me, show me. And it always stuck with me. And I continue to try and live my life like that, you know, like, but I guess me being me, I'm pretty good at, like, putting it out there for the world, and then following through, because that comes down to my integrity again. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. It might not be the best, it might not be how you saw it, but it's as best as I can, and my word holds that power. So I get going back to it, if people come and give their time and their money, sacrifice that for me, this space, this gym that we have, this community we keep, if they give all of that for me, the least I can do is give them back, you know, as much as I can. So that's what that means to me, bro.
And you're talking to also about this principle of trying. You know, you and I both grew up with people who had it all. They, you know, like, Tokoro is very renowned for sportsmen, but there were heaps of those guys. What was the difference with those people? And actually, even for myself, like, I just didn't try enough. You know, I'm thankful that I found that in other ways, especially through my own career when I got my degree and all. I just tried extra hard, but there was elements in me in the sports realm where I just didn't try. And you're talking about a very important principle there. First is having the opportunity to try, and there we pay homage to your father
100%.
in teaching you the values and skills that allow you, when you get to the opportunity, that you actually know how to follow through, execute, all those sort of things. Then the second thing that when we come back to trying is actually when people open those doors, or we talk about dropping off the gift of opportunity to our teaching team every day. Every day drop the gift off. Most of them will not open it, if not majority, but that's okay. We still drop the gift every day. And it's creating that platform to actually try. And that's what I love. That's what whenever I see you, there is a platform and opportunity. You know, I've been running into you a bit down the beach, but there is a platform and opportunity to engage and to talk and discuss and talk about whatever it is. That's what Byron's obviously built on as well, was creating opportunities for kids, for whānau to step in and try. How do we grow that sort of approach and mentality that what you're talking to? How do we get that message going, especially in our Māori Pasifika communities?
Yeah, I guess the whole trying thing for me, like yourself, and when I was younger, I didn't really try. It was the fear of failure, the fear of embarrassment, being judged, thinking I wasn't good enough. And no matter how good I was, it just wasn't, you know, it wasn't what people thought of me or demanded of me. But yeah, 27 years old, I started fighting, and wow, all the learnings came of like, frick, you know, someone that never wanted to stand up and talk publicly in front of people. Now I'm going into a ring and it's just me and the other guy. He's trying to beat me up, and there's all these hundreds of people watching. And then I was triumphant. I won. My hand was raised, and you know, in that moment, I knew that if I carried that on into everything else I did, you know, what else could I accomplish? So I was just gradually learning that idea of trying and staring fear in the face and still going forward, you know, or I guess if anything, finding the scary things in life, the uncomfortable things, and then like freaking heading that way, because I knew that way was only going to give me some growth, win, lose, or indifferent, you know, or draw. So yeah, I guess that's the big thing for me and trying, and yeah, like what's the worst that can happen? We're gonna be exactly where we already are, and then we go again and we reset, and we've got more experience, more knowledge, and like, you know, again, like I like to think now, being a little bit like getting a bit older, you know, purpose changes, and it's not just about my own selfish needs, but it's about potentially being a positive influence and impact role model to those, you know, much younger than me. Because, you know, like I'm a big believer that, you know, it's those primitive years, you know, when they're young, to those teenage years that can really define where you go in life. And it did for me. And then again, going back to my hero, my dad, I'm grateful that I had that support and that love, that even though my life was headed a certain way, like not so much the good way, I had a pivotal moments, and grateful that now, you know, my life's going the other way. And yeah, again, going back to it, like if I'm given those opportunities and those blessings and I'm in a better position now, it's my responsibility that I can try and give that back to someone else, because that's where purpose lies, right? And you know, that's what I want people to think of me, that I'm yeah, you know, I'm trying for myself, but also I'm just trying to give opportunities for others so they can also have a story like mine, and much better too, way better. You know, that whole idea, like, when someone wins, that's my win too. That's what our greatest win should be, right? If we have some sort of impact on someone else's successes, wow, what an amazing feeling that is.
Yeah.
Hey, as a coach and as an athlete, winning as an athlete is awesome, but winning as a coach is way better. Eh?
Oh yeah.
Wow, it's
the energy's unreal.
Yeah, and from the other point of it, losing as an athlete, you think is the hardest thing in the world, until you become a coach, and it's way harder.
Because you can't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd always like to think, man, I just wish I could take those punches, and I wish I could take that those bad feelings that you're feeling. I guess that comes down to from a coaching point of view, that's where the care is. You only hurt because you really care for your athletes, and that's what a coach really is, though, right? I say, a coach isn't just someone that teaches you a skill. They're the person that sits in the sauna with you. They're the ones that you're calling up, and frick, as much as we're trying to get our own relaxed time, they're calling you at crazy times and talking about things you didn't need to be talking about, or whatever. But that's what a coach is to me, and that's what I try and long for as a coach, is to be more than just a teacher, to be your best mate, to be your biggest supporter, but also your harshest critic. Because I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because I want you to be great, whatever that looks like. Whether it be in the ring, but more so in life, as a person, in your career. We have as a gym, especially with the fighters, it's a chain of priority. On top of that is your family. Family is always first. Second is career. And then your last one is boxing. So if you want to compete here at Byron Boxing, that's the chain of priority. If there's anything in your family that isn't quite right, man, fix that first. Deal with that. Because you're only in the ring for 9 minutes or however long it is, but the rest of your life is at home. You don't want to get to an empty home, or also you want to be able to go to a home filled with love. And then also with the career, look what I've done with my career through boxing. I've just taken the sport that I love, and now I'm a business owner. But that's what I want for them as well. I want them to know that, man, you should be winning in life. And like we said earlier, try, and then try harder. And then once you get there, you can enjoy all the other aspects. For us, if you're going to compete in boxing, you're already happy outside the ring.
Yep.
And a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter.
Yep.
But if there's things going on and we're using this as escapism, and just to vent a lot of anger, which is some part and parcel of what boxing is, therapy. But if that's purely, especially from a competitive point of view, if that's purely what the sport is to you, then this isn't the sport for you. It's I just want people to win in life, in their homes, in their careers, and then when they raise their hand in the ring, it's much more than a win there. I love that, bro. The chain of priority is, and I have talked about it all the time. Being a husband, being a father, is my number one goals. That's my priorities. It's where the day starts and ends. And those facets under more pressure, you got to stay North Star. The whānau, the ainga, that stuff is just so critical. And you're right, Brian. It's refreshing to hear a coach say, "Hey, man, love the aggression, passion, but you trying to run away from something? You hear it probably a bit too much, or hey, man, you need to just back off a wee bit." And because a lot of people do use escapism, whether it's in a boxing ring or on social media scrolling or drinking or whatever. It is an unhealthy part of life, which I believe is actually on the upward trend. It's easy to escape today. Yeah.
Far out. You can just stay like this. Interestingly, I got a text from someone this morning. He's a good kid, but he said, "Oh, you should check out my TikTok." I was like, "Hey man, I use LinkedIn, that's it, and I don't open it all day, but I said, oh, nah, I'm not on social media, and he actually texted back and was like, oh, that's refreshing, you know, like, he was like, not banging on me, he was just like, oh, and I was like, yeah, that's the choice I make, because the escapism, far out, people watching everyone else's life and not watching their own.
Yeah, bro, 100%.
That just doesn't make sense. 1 year from now, what does it look like for Byron? What do you think?
Man, continue to grow the community. I do this organically. We're building a community forever. I'm not going nowhere. I love it here in Pāpāmoa. I love our people here. Obviously to grow the community, first and foremost, and ultimately just to strengthen the community. Those that already come here and those that will come here in time, to really feel that strong sense of belonging, where they can feel safe and just know that that we are all just ainga and whānau. We're all just living day to day as best we can, and we all have our struggles, and just all to know that we're just human. And like I say, with like one of the many mantras of the gym is I just want good people that want to be better, but also want to help others be better too. And I can't change the world, but the world around me is my community, and grateful that we have this gym, and the gym will grow in time, or whenever it does, or maybe when I have another trip to Samoa, and then I start thinking again, or ultimately, like we talked about, like when I get uncomfortable again, that'll be when we'll have to scale up, and when the numbers match up to that, and but yeah, a year from now, we're probably going to be sitting in another gym, my brother.
Yeah, that's what I hope, yeah.
Or maybe not, because these landlords are pretty they're pretty hard to deal with. But nah, man, that's the big one for me. Just to make sure the community we keep is solid. That everybody knows that they feel loved, that they mean something. I know all of your names.
Yes.
There's over probably, like, including the kids, over 200 people that come here. I know every single one of their names. And that's a big flex for me. Take the gym away and all that. But yeah, like, if this all goes, I still have that. And that means the most to me, bro. So a year from now, man, we're probably going to be sitting down, yarning about that too, brother. We will, brother. And bro.
We're proud of you, brother. We're proud of what you bring to the community. A real positive light. I'm proud to know you and be a mate of yours. I'm proud of just seeing in a year what you've done, and just the ability to just frame that up, confidently, with accuracy, and still knowing there's a lot more to go. So, brother, we're proud of you. We're proud of what Byron Boxing brings. Bring on next year.
Shut up, man.
Legend, brother.